lesson, we're going to explore credit card use, and we're going to compare some credit options that are available to you, the consumer. Incentives or promotions are sometimes offered to entice people to use credit cards. For an example, an immediate cash rebate may be offered on the first purchase using a credit card. Low interest rates, rewards, or no annual fees may also be offered. So here are just 3 that were found on a website. If you searched a website or if you Googled credit cards or Canadian credit cards, Visa, MasterCard, whatever you want to do, go through your banking institution, you will find a whole bunch of different credit cards. So if we look at these 3, you can see some of the different items that they have. Their APRs, some of them are listed. One's only 11.99%, one's 19.99%. The other one says see terms. Sometimes you can do balance transfers for lower interest rates for a certain time frame. Some have annual fees, some don't. Other things that they might do is you've got around-the-clock fraud protection, adding other users for no cost. There's just lots of different things. The hockey one there is you earn a Scotia Hockey Rewards point for every dollar you spend on the card. 5 points at SportCheck and sportcheck.ca. You can save 20% off purchases at the NHL online store. So there's just lots of different rewards to credit cards. You have to kind of pick and choose and sort through and know what it is you want a credit card for, and then try to find one that fits your needs the best. The full cost of borrowing should be considered before you make a decision about using a credit card. This includes the total interest charged as well as the total payments and the time it will take to pay off the balance. Credit cards typically are a fairly high interest rate, and they are calculated, the interest is calculated daily, and so therefore if you're going to be carrying a large balance, you really want to caution against credit cards or look for ones that have really low balance or interest rates. Credit cards usually have a minimum amount that must be paid each month based on a % of the outstanding balance. If there is no outstanding balance from the previous month and the new balance is paid off in full by the payment due date, no interest is charged. Now here is an advantage of a credit card. There are some credit cards with some really good rewards. Air Miles, Aeroplan Miles, different things like that. If you are able to pay off your balance in full every month, there will be no cost to you for using the credit card, and you will gain those rewards. But it's very important that you are paying it off in full by the payment due date to not have any charge. Credit cards do have a credit limit, which is the maximum amount you can borrow. The credit limit varies from person to person based on your credit history. Cash advances on credit cards have no period in which no interest is charged and sometimes have a greater interest rate than purchases. So if you wanted to simply go and withdraw $500 from an ATM machine, but you're going to withdraw it off your credit card, there isn't that interest-free grace period. They will start charging you interest on it the day that you remove the purchase. And oftentimes it's at a higher interest rate than if you just go into a store and you buy something. If a credit card does not have an outstanding balance and it is used for a single purchase, we can treat it as a loan. The purchase price is then the principal borrowed, and the regular payments can be made until the balance is paid off. And the cost of using credit is not just the amount of interest charged. There are incentives, such as cash rebates, that reduce the principal. This may end up costing you more in interest, but result in a lower total loan payment amount. So you have to consider everything in that credit card when we talk about the cost of using it. So let's look at this example. Jaden saw the new sound system he wanted on sale for $2,623.95, including taxes. He has to buy it on credit and had 2 options. He could use his new bank credit card, which has an interest rate of 14.5% compounded daily. Because this credit card is new, there is no outstanding balance from the previous month. Or he could apply for the store credit card, which offers an immediate rebate of $100 on the price, but has an interest rate of 19.3% compounded daily. As with most credit cards, Jayden would not pay any interest if he paid off the balance before the due date on his first statement. However, Jayden cannot afford to do this. Both cards require a minimum monthly payment of 2.1% on the outstanding balance, but Jayden is confident that he can make regular monthly payments of $110. And that $110 is more than the 2.1%. So which credit card is the better option for Jayden? Well, let's compare the two. So we've got our bank credit card. Let's go back to the bank one here. We can still use our feature on our graphing calculator. So we need to know all of these pieces of information. So N, in this case, we have to find out how long it's going to take him to pay it off before we can figure out what the cost is going to be. So we need to figure out how long it's going to take him to pay it off using the bank card. The bank card is 14.5%. He is making his purchase of $2,623.95. Remember, we enter in our present value as a negative. That's the amount you're borrowing. And he's going to make a regular payment of $110. Remember, our future value on these loans is 0. He's going to make monthly payments, so that's 12 payments per year. And the interest on this credit card is daily. So it's compounded daily. So what we need to find out is we need to find out how long. So the number of payments that he is going to have to make. So we would put all of that information into our calculator, and you are going to get N will be 28, and we're going to go to 4 decimal places. We don't want to round too early here because in a lot of cases on loans, they're going to be close to the same value, and so you want to actually look at which one is going to cost you more. All right, so if you go to at least 4 decimal places, you will be fairly accurate. You could go to more to be really accurate. So now it's going to take him 28.3412 payments to pay this off. So what we can do is to see how much he's paying in total. He's making $110 payments, and he's going to make 28 of them. So the amount that he is going to pay in total is $3,117.53. So this is how much Jayden would actually end up paying for his sound system if he used the bank credit card. Now if we go to the store credit, we calculate how much this is going to cost him. Again, we've got to see how long it's going to take him to pay this off. The interest rate is 19.3%. Now remember, the store rebate was $100 off, right off the bat. So he actually only needs to put $2,523.95 on the credit card. Because you're going to use the store credit, they're going to give you $100 off the purchase price. He's still only going to be able to make $110 payments. Future value is going to be 0. He's going to make monthly payments, so 12 payments per year. And the store credit card was also compounded daily. So when we go through and we put all of that into our calculator, we will get 28.9247. So now you can see why it was important not to round. If we had looked at the bank one and rounded, he wouldn't have had it paid off in 28 payments. It would have taken him 29 payments. Same thing with the store. So it's very close in the amount of payments. But there is more left over on the store one. It is going to take a little bit longer, 0.6 of a payment. So that would affect our overall cost, which is why we go to more decimal places. So let's find out. He was paying $110, and he's going to do 28.9247 of these payments. And it is going to cost him $3,181.72 in total. So if you look at this, even though he was getting $100 off the price if he used the store credit, because the interest rate was substantially higher, he would end up paying more money if he put it on store credit card. He is better off using the bank's option. This one will cost him less even though his initial price is more. And it has to do with the interest rate. So he is better to go through his bank credit card. That's why it's really important to compare your costs. Don't just look at your purchase price. You have to consider all parts of it. So Jaden could choose to make smaller payments each month because he only needed to pay 2.1% of his balance, or he could pay a different amount each month as long as each payment is at least 2.1% of the outstanding balance. Why do you think he chose to make regular payments of $110 instead of just paying off the minimum, or instead of paying different amounts each time? Well, here's one possibility, and your answers could vary for sure. But here's something to consider. The faster he reduces the balance, the sooner he will pay off the loan, therefore the less interest he will pay, and the less he will pay overall. So paying more than the minimum is a good idea. Also, choosing a regular amount gives him something to budget for. So maybe 110 is the most he could fit into each month. So that's why he is going to pay the $110. If he chose to pay less, it will take him longer to pay it off, and he will end up paying off or paying more money for that sound system. So those are some things to consider when you are using credit cards.